Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Scorpio energy. Now the High Priestess is here on the table because this card represents Scorpio energy in the tarot. What's really interesting is in a couple of readings, in the last few readings, the High Priestess has been coming out for other signs in the reverse. It kind of tells me that you've gone a little bit, now some of you, it could be two ways. Either some of you have kind of gone a bit off the grid. You act as this High Priestess energy for the people around you. So people may come to you for advice, especially in terms of things that are a bit, is the word esoteric? That's the word they're giving me. I'm not actually 100% sure I'm using it correctly. But for things that are a little bit spiritual or things that are a little bit psychic, perhaps you do tarot readings or something like this. Or perhaps you just have that very, that natural intuitive way of understanding situations that, you know, people don't have to necessarily tell you things. You just kind of have some idea of what's going on because you kind of read the subtle signs of situations. So if people come to you for that kind of advice, you could have been a bit off the radar. You could have been a bit, you know, the High Priestess is off duty right now. We can't be contacted, that kind of thing. I feel that that has been going on collectively because even like readers that I watch kind of really went off the radar, like off the grid. You know, they weren't posting videos and I was like, where are they? Are they okay? So this can be, it feels like a collective thing that's been happening, but it's like the ball's rolling again now. Excuse me, there could be something about throat chakra because my throat chakra is tingling and itching. So somebody may be having trouble communicating something that they want to say. Maybe they are doing it psychically or intuitively rather than vocally. Again, this thing about reading the subtle signs and messages without actually vocalizing something could be important for somebody. Now, for others of you, you could be trying to connect to some higher guidance or avoiding your intuition or avoiding your kind of natural psychic abilities. It's almost like not wanting to look at something, like wanting to not see something. Now, for some of you, and this is going to get a bit difficult and triggering here, so fair warning, for some of you, you're refusing to do some shadow work within yourself. You're refusing to look at something. Now, for those of you that this applies to, it's something, it feels like something that you haven't dealt with emotionally and you've kind of put on a shelf and refused to kind of look at it. So avoidance, like emotional avoidance. So it could be something traumatic that happened in your past. I don't know how far, I don't know if this is recent past, but for most of you it's feeling like almost like childhood or like distant past. So something that you actually went through that was emotional and traumatic for you in some sort of way and you haven't dealt with it. And now this can come up unexpectedly and in ways where it's inconvenient, right? So it's like, because you haven't dealt with it, you could be doing something else and something triggers you and you don't deal with it very well. I don't know if you want to watch Cappy's reading because Cappy got an interesting message about I don't want to kind of say it here because it's Cappy's message, but I'm seeing a tie-in with it. So something where you like you're doing something and something unexpectedly kind of hits those emotional chords, or it's almost like hearing your own story being played out publicly in some sort of way. So I'm going to kind of avoid that because again, that's Capricorn's thing, but again, something could have triggered you and you weren't expecting it. Now, for some of you, you could be numbing. So I got the message, it's very clearly for Scorpio, it was not all of us get to pick our poison. So, you know, when people say, I pick my poison, it's like, you know, what is your bad habit? What are you addicted to? And are you using something to numb? So I don't want to get too personal. How do I say what I want to say without getting too personal? So, for example, like alcohol, if some people haven't dealt with something emotionally and they don't want to, they can drink too much alcohol to kind of like get to that kind of numbing feeling. So just be really careful. The message that's coming through, oh, the numbers 14, 1414 may be significant to somebody. Take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Watch out for it. So if you glance at the clock and it's 1414, it could be that Spirit's trying to communicate with you. The song Feel the Pain by Dinosaur Jr. came through for you. I feel the pain of everyone and then I feel nothing. So for some of you, your psychic ability could be tuned up too high, where you are overly sympathetic, right? It's like, it's not even your pain that you're feeling, it's the pain of the people around you. And being so empathetic that it's like whatever other people are going through, it's like it's happened to you. So I definitely, like, my mum was a Scorpio and she was kind of like this, so she wouldn't tell me things, again, that thing about the throat chakra, because she was trying to spare me pain, but really it was her that was she'd feel things too keenly, and very, very highly empathically. So again, she did a little bit of numbing. So just be wary of that kind of behavior, Scorpio, I want to say. And again, this could be somebody around you that you need to help out. But the thing with the song Feel the Pain, it's like the message from spirit is, and I mean, in your own time, in your own way, in a way that's suitable for you, with support of I don't know, professionals like psychologists, counselors, hypnotherapists is coming through strongly. That's the second time they've given that to me for you. Like with the support of like trained professionals, you need to go to those places and resolve that source of pain. So if this is something that's happened to you, if this is trauma from the past, you're not going to be able to let it go and release yourself from it if you don't go back to that dark place and deal with it. With help if you need it, okay? I am a tarot card reader. I am not a professional clinician or anything like that. I'm just giving you the message that they're giving me. So with help and support from professionals, go to those dark places, because you need to revisit it to understand it and to fully release it, is the message that's coming through. This was also given to me through a video on YouTube that was called something like 7 Ways to Heal Trauma Without medication, it was. And it was this guy who'd been a psychologist for like 50 years, and he was looking at all these different like you know, like, and I do think drugs have a place. So prescription medicine for dealing with pain and trauma and other mental health issues. I do think there's a place for like that kind of clinical medicine, you know, but it may be worth looking into alternative therapies as well, because different things work for different people, right? So he was looking into various alternate therapies like hypnotherapy and things that affect your brain. Even this thing where it's like following a finger from left to right. So if he was talking about taking his patients back to the traumatic memories, but as he was doing so, he'd get them to track with eye movement, like left and right, like this. So and it was something to do with rewiring the brain, or it was preventing them from having a panic attack. So some of you could be having panic attacks, I'm getting as well, because I had the message, control your breathing and relax. And it really felt like, almost like spirit was taking me into a hypnotherapy session, like, right? Like, focus on your breathing, relax, you're safe now, nothing's going to hurt you now. You know, we're just thinking about the past, but the past isn't currently happening. So I don't know, it feels like hypnotherapy and like regression into... That's how it feels to me. So take it or leave it. It may not be a reading, right? It's not going to be everybody's reading. I just hit some hangers that are next to me. Sorry if I made you jump. But yeah, going back to past trauma. And then had a few indicators as well. I had the colour green came through really strongly. I saw a horizon line. It looked like, you know, if you're on like a beach and you look out across the ocean and you see the point where the sky hits the ocean, and you get that kind of like, it's almost like a strip of light along the horizon line. I was kind of seeing that. I don't know if there's some clouds as well. I got the word hippo, so I didn't see a hippo, I was given the word hippo, and then I was shown what looks to me like marbles or pearls, and I thought it reminds me of that game, Hungry Hungry Hippos. So I don't know if that's significant to you in any sort of way. And this thing about like marbles and pearls on a beach, that has come through before in the past, but also they were showing me like shells. So like, I don't know, collecting shells or even collecting like sea glass or something could be significant for somebody. All right, Hungry Hungry Hippos made me laugh because it's such a funny message to come through, like such a weirdly specific but humorous message. So yeah, curious if anyone resonates with that. Basically, I'm seeing the Empress underneath as well, so in the underlying, so mothers could be significant for somebody. Somebody could be a mother. You could be dealing with your own mother. Okay. Scorpio, please. What's going on for Scorpio? Community. So there could be something with community, your friends, your family, your neighbours, the people around you, the place where you live. You could be a part of some online community. Normally this comes out, especially in the right, as a supportive community around you. So again, are the people in the community that you can help, and can they help you? Quid pro quo, you know. If you're supporting people, you should be expecting that level of support back, and not expecting too much support. It needs to be equal, right? So are you giving too much? Are you taking too much? Is your community in balance, especially emotionally? Giraffes could be significant for you. The number 8 could be significant. 8 talks about perpetuality. What's going on around Scorpio, please? Wow, that's a lot. Woman holding a coin, the thinking man, all tied up, caring connections. See, caring connections and indecision. So any of those numbers could be significant to you. You've got 42, 46, 23, 14, 8. Again, 8. So a woman holding a coin. This is kind of like Queen of Pentacles energy. So this could be like a boss, a wife, a member of your family who controls the money, somebody who's quite successful. Normally a female, it's specifically a woman. So I'd say like normally in tarot, like Queen of Pentacles energy, it's it can be anybody, but in this deck, because it specifically says like woman and man, it's specifically referring to somebody who represents as a woman and somebody who represents as a man. So two different people, right? Could also be like the yin yang side of the situation, especially with indecision. It's like, who do I trust? Where do I weigh up? Thinking man does give me Scorpio energy, also Aquarius energy. Could be for somebody, maybe a bit of Virgo in there as well. Somebody could have a black cat. Somebody could work with crystals. So the thinking man is normally some kind of like philosopher, strategist, somebody who gives good advice, somebody who can talk things through to you. This could be some sort of clinician or, you know, like a doctor, somebody who has wisdom. You know, a counselor perhaps, but here's somebody controlling the money. All tied up. I don't know what that means for you. Again, this is not your energy, this is somebody outside of you. It could be money is tied up in something. There's a situation that's all tied up. There are caring connections here. There is support here. Again, you've got community. Could be being asked to lean on friends and family for support. And then indecision. So there's a lot going on outside of you. So it feels like whatever you're dealing with, it's not necessarily your energy. You're dealing with a lot of energy around you. Again, this could be this thing about being over sympathetic, taking on too much of everybody else's emotional energy as your own. So just be wary of that. Okay, so what energy is Scorpio sat in, please? You're being secretive. Yeah, oh my God, exactly. Like the cards today are 100% confirming like what I'm picking up on, and like their own messages. So the camel hiding, right? So do you see the way that it flipped? It flipped over and it went back in. That always tells me that somebody's being secretive or they're hiding something. And the camel is actually, it's water sign energy, and it's somebody who holds, is it water sign energy? I don't think it is water sign energy. That's interesting. What is it? Fire. Wow, that's interesting. Camel's fire energy. But it's a very, very watery card because camels famously drink a lot of water and store it in the fat in the hump, right? So it's holding on to emotions, being secretive, which is very much High Priestess energy. It's your energy, Scorpio. You are a secretive sign. You bottle things up, you hide things away. But it's also resourceful. So the camel stores onto water, which symbolizes emotions, because they know that there's a time and a place, right? They know that holding back is a way of being resourceful with their emotions. So I'm sure being a high vibrational sign, emotional sign like the High Priestess, you probably do have a good idea of when to speak, when not to speak, what to hold back and what to release. But with my throat chakra going before at the start of the reading, that really does tell me somebody's it's like your throat chakra's blocked. You're not saying something that you're holding on to emotionally. With it being fire as well, that's really interesting. So it could just be talking about resourcefulness in terms of knowing when to go after the things that you're passionate about and when to hold back. I am going to say, and I do not mean to say this derogatory, there could be something to do with somebody's weight. Again, if this isn't something medical, go and get advice from a doctor, because the thinking man is giving me like King of Swords energy, which is a doctor. So if you've had sudden weight gain, I'm going to say it's a lot of weight. Again, I don't mean to be rude, but with the hippo, I was getting that it could be some kind of insult, like somebody's called you a hippo, right? And with the camel, really drawing my attention to like the fatty tissue in the hump. So again, I don't know who I'm reading for, right? I don't know you personally. I don't know what you look like. I'm not trying to be rude, but it could be that your weight is a sensitive topic, or it could be that if you've put on weight suddenly, it could be a sign for you to get a health check. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, I don't know you, I don't know your personal situation, but if that's resonating, it's something to consider. So yes. But again, there's something about resourcefulness, especially with water, because this is, I mean, talking about this being fire, they're in this kind of like desert landscape, a very hot landscape. So there could be something about literally, like, there could be a message about literally storing water. So I know the UK, I think we're going back into a heat wave. So it may be just a good time to stock up a few extra bottles of water. Maybe if you've got any old empty bottles lying around, just fill them up from your tap. So you've got, you know, enough water to, you know, pour into your kettle or to wash your face if for whatever reason there was a drought or something, you know, like a hosepipe ban. You could water your plants from the bottles of water because you stored water. So I don't know, it could be just water storage, I don't know. What energy is going on outside of Scorpio, please? Oh my God, there's a lot going on, Scorpio, there you are. There's a lot going on outside of you. Like, just comparatively, you've got one card and one card, and then there's like so many cards here, right? Oh my God, Capricorn energy. Oh. Okay. Oh my God, this is a lot. The peacock coming out to confirm woman holding a queen is funny to me, because the peacock is normally on the Nine of Pentacles card. This indicates the Nine of Pentacles for me. Now the Nine of Pentacles is Capricorn, and the Queen of Pentacles, which is what this reminds me of, is also Capricorn. So strong Capricorn energy coming through. It's very showy. So this is somebody who shows off their wealth, right? They have control of the money. They have a lot of money. They like to show it, right? They like people to know how much money they've got. It's if you think about how peacocks, they're telling me flex, it's like they kind of have those big showy displays of like, look how gorgeous I am, do you want to come and mate with me, right? It's that kind of energy. It's like, look how successful I am, look how much money I've got, look at all these designer clothes that I have, look at my Gucci handbag, you know, look at my fast car. Very, very showy energy. It's like they've got money. They probably worked, with it being Capricorn energy, they probably worked really hard for it, but they want you to see it, right? They want you to see how successful they are. Okay, I don't know what's going on over here, but the owl in reverse, this tells me, again, it's kind of very similar to how the High Priestess has been coming out in reverse, because the High Priestess I associate with Scorpio energy and also Libra energy, because the owl is a symbol of Pallas Athene, who is Athena in Greek mythology. I keep hitting those hangers. So with it coming out in reverse, it's almost like it's saying somebody's not trusting their intuition here. Somebody's not trusting kind of the inner knowledge. Again, this is the thinking man. So it could also be not listening to good advice, because the owl is knowledge, wisdom. The thing with the owl as well, though, is like they've got big eyes and a tiny beak, which indicates, again, that kind of High Priestess energy of knowing without speaking. In the reverse, though, it's kind of like somebody's not trusting their own intuition, or they're ignoring good advice, or they're ignoring their own inner wisdom. The buffalo in reverse, the buffalo is a card of perseverance. It's somebody who's kind of like very... It always makes me think of somebody who's older, or somebody who's been through some kind of trials. It's like somebody who's kind of like, you know, they're kind of showing me, you know, when people have worked in the sun a long time and they get kind of like sun wrinkles. It's like somebody who's they've worked really hard, and they're kind of showing it. They're kind of a little bit rugged, perhaps. Not necessarily in the image, but normally the buffalo in the upright is somebody who perseveres with something. They've been on a long journey. They've worked really hard. They've put up with a lot of stuff, but they've persevered through it all. It's like they're built for it, right? In the reverse, it has that energy of like the Nine of Wands in reverse, like somebody who's giving up on something. It's like they're done with it. They can't, you know, maybe there's some red tape involved with all tied up. It's like they can't keep, you know, butting their head against a brick wall. They're going to have to find a different path. The butterfly in the reverse signifies somebody who's not having some sort of change. They could be because they're stuck in some kind of indecision. They don't know which path to choose, so they're not having the transformation that they need to have. They're not having the soul growth. It really does have the feeling of somebody who is, it has the feeling of somebody, again, this could be somebody around you. It's not necessarily you, but it was coming through when I was channeling your energy. Somebody who's not learning a lesson, somebody who's not having the soul growth, somebody who's not doing the shadow work, right? They're ignoring the part of themselves that's telling them that they need to make a change, that they need to grow, that they need to move on from these old karmic lessons. And the karmic lessons, I feel, could be something to do with material wealth. I've had the message coming through quite a bit of all that glitters is not gold. Again, it's coming through. Very interesting that you've got a tie-in with Capricorn's reading twice now, because they've got that message of all that glitters is not gold, and they're sat here now enjoying the material wealth and not having soul growth. Apparently, if it's Cappy, it doesn't have to be Cappy. It could be somebody with strong Cappy in the chart. I don't know. I'm being told, normally I use two different decks, like a deck over here and a deck here. But I'm being told to use this deck across, so we'll see what comes out. So I'm not even done. I've not even got the Lenormand deck yet. What's going on for Scorpio? Maybe they want it the other way around. Sorry, just trying to use my own intuition and guidance when doing your reading. Sometimes I'm guided to use different decks. So tell me about Scorpio. What's going on for Scorpio? Look at that. You're being quite... You seem quite sure. You're like one card, one card, one card. Page of Swords. You're trying to gather more information about a situation. There's something that you don't know, right? So this has an energy of watching, waiting, studying, maybe a little bit of light stalking, you know, tapping into somebody's social media page. Are they single? Are they in a relationship? You know, where have they been? Who are they hanging out with? So it's like research, right? It's just checking people out. It's the kind of research that you do if you were an employer, for example. Say you were going to... Say you had a business and you really cared about the kind of reputation of a business, and you want to make sure anyone you hire is going to reflect well on your business. You might just check out the social media and make sure they're not retweeting racist tweets, you know. So it's like just a little bit of checking out, just a little bit of recon, basically, a little bit more information gathering, which seems like a good idea. So again, you've got this community, so it's like it does have that feeling of like being on Facebook and thinking, let's just check in with that person. What are they up to? What's that person up to? You know, and this is, it doesn't have to be anything negative, or doesn't have to be anything bad. It's got the energy of like a mum, right? A mum checking up on her kids. Maybe, you know, mum doesn't want to embarrass the kids by commenting on the post, but she likes to see what her kids are up to, so she's just going to go on the profile, see what kind of stuff they're posting, see who they're hanging out with, being like, okay, right, make a note of that. maybe I'll leave some kind of the subtlety of Scorpio of like, okay, so my kid, you know, maybe my 15-year-old looks like he's starting to get a girlfriend, he's starting to hang out with girls a bit more. Maybe I'm just going to leave some leaflets around the house about contraception, just so he's got that information, you know. If I just leave it in the bathroom, he might just pick it up and have a look when he's in there, and he's, you know, got the door closed, he's got the privacy to kind of like be like, oh, actually, I am interested in learning more about this subject. So it's that kind of subtle parenting of like keeping tabs and then just kind of leaving things around the house so that they can you know, hopefully take a look at that information. I don't know. It's funny to me. Okay. I'm going to ask about this energy separately. So tell me about this energy, because this is coming through quite strongly. This feels like a specific individual, where this feels a little bit more like it could be general people around you. So who is this? Who is this? Tell me about this person. Look at that one card. High Priestess. It could be somebody... Could be another Scorpio. Yeah, another Scorpio. So I'm saying Capricorn, but High Priestess energy. It could even be, which is interesting, it makes me think of Taurus's reading a little bit. It could even be, was it Taurus's reading? They're telling me Leo, but I remember it's Taurus, but it could have been Leo's reading. Somebody had something about false prophets, about, you know, people who speak about religion and, you know, talk about spirituality, but they, you know, they shake the collection plate. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll pray for your soul, but it's going to cost you $50. Interesting, could be an American. Or who else has dollars? Like, does Australia have dollars? South Africa, do they have dollars? I don't even know who has dollars. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I'll pray for you, but it's going to cost you money. It has that kind of energy to it. So I was talking in one of the readings about, you know, the kind of people like preachers who they wear like big gold necklaces and they drive around in limos, and it's kind of like, why are they really into this? Are they really into this? You know, for example, so if you compare this to me, what I'm doing on the internet right now with my videos and my tarot card readings, I don't earn any money from this. I don't have ads on my videos. I don't qualify for ads on my videos. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it because it feels like I'm divinely guided to offer this advice for free. I don't have any of my readings behind a paywall, right? That's not why I'm here. If I did earn money passively through ads or something, all the more, you know, all the better for me, but that is not why I'm doing it. And this is proven by me having, what, 800, 900 videos. I don't even know how many videos are on my channel at this point, and I haven't earned a penny from doing that. The amount of hours I've plowed into this, no financial profit. In fact, it's costing me money because I buy so many bloody tarot decks. So if you want to compare it, okay, so and that's not to say perhaps, you know, maybe this person does offer really good guidance. Maybe this is somebody that you're going to for tarot card readings, but they want your money, right? You know, a lot of readers, and again, everybody has a right to earn money from what they do. I mean, I've got a Capricorn Lilith placement, so for me, it's like the opposite of this. For me, it's like, please don't pay me. I am not worthy of this money for my time. It's like a whole imposter syndrome issue. You know, but people do. People have the right to earn money for the services they provide. However, where do they lie with that? Where does it become greed over purpose? So just be wary of that. Feels like it could be a tarot card reader, or like you know, like a spiritual, somebody offering some kind of spiritual service, but making a lot of money from it. It's not necessarily bad. Again, this could be somebody who can offer you guidance. It's like this could be a tarot card reader. For example, if it was like somebody I was interacting with, it could be a tarot card reader who's very, very good at it, you know, because it hasn't come out in reverse, it's all in the upright. So I may be giving this person a harder time than is fair, but it could be something about you know, this could be somebody who came into me and said, look, this is what you could do to make your channel more successful. This is how you could still offer, you know, a free tarot service, but actually make some money doing it. So it could be somebody who's coming in to give you actual practical advice in terms of this is how you make money from doing whatever it is that you're already doing. Or you're watching this, right? So you're like, okay, maybe you are like a tarot reader or something. You're like, okay, I've got this small community. It's quite private. How do I take this to the next level? How do I make this something that will bring money in? And this could be somebody that you're watching, right? How do they do it? But then you've got all this stuff in reverse about refusing to. I had something, again, I feel like Capricorn energy came through with it, but not necessarily. No, it was Taurus's reading. Capricorn got it, but in a different way. And then Taurus got it in a way that was very predatory. I don't know, maybe go and watch Taurus's reading. They had this whole thing about like putting out a net, right? So it could be like even like a psychic net and seeing what gets stuck in it. seeing what you catch. So similar to like how a spider puts out the web and catches a fly. And it was like the only way to get out of this situation where you're tied up but in this netting, in this web, in this trap, was to have this transformation, was to have this rebirth. It's like, because the spider's getting you because they think you're a fly, but what if that wrapping is actually the cocoon you needed to have a metamorphosis and have a change and come out as a butterfly? So it's like to escape the trap. I mean, go and watch Taurus's reading for more information on this, but it's like to escape the trap, you have to have the metamorphosis. And if somebody is not doing the shadow work, right? If somebody hasn't had the transformation at a soul level to escape the web, the trap, then they're going to be stuck, right? Tell me what's going on over here, please. More information on this side. Could be something to do with work, or again, people that you work with. So again, you've got like community here. It could be like some kind of like church community or spiritual community. Three of Pentacles is collaboration, but there's only one person on this card, and there's an anvil and a chain. So it's like somebody's chained to something that they do. They're chained to some kind of work that they do. Could be working for other people and refusing to kind of go out and do your own thing. King of Pentacles now on the bottom. That's that Taurus energy. It's like, you know, always doing something for somebody else and not setting up your own business or something like that. So this could be somebody who helps you set up your own business. Again, they're not coming through as negative necessarily, but they could be perceived sometimes as negative because they're very materialistic. It is Capricorn energy. Capricorn's such a funny energy with this because, again, I've got Capricorn South Node and Capricorn Lilith. So it's almost like a, you know, what I'm naturally good at and what I'm comfortable with, I have a lot of guilt over, which is ridiculous. Like so much imposter syndrome with that. So I do understand Capricorn energy quite a lot. It's like Capricorn energy in the upright is that energy of like, I've worked hard for this. I've, you know, I haven't been gifted things on a plate. I've put effort into this. I work hard. I care about my job. I care about what I do. And so when it's successful, I want to show people that my hard work, I want to show people the, my accolades. I want to show people my wealth because it's like a badge of honor, right? It's showing people how hard I worked to get here. So it's not anything negative, but it can be. Again, with my Lilith Cappy placement, I can understand how it's perceived as negative. I've got a natural, with that placement, it's almost like a natural avoidance of anything that's like overly showy or overly, what's the opposite of humble? Like, they're telling me humble brag. So yeah, I don't know. It's the sort of person who puts their diplomas up on the wall for everybody to see, you know? Because they're proud of it. They're proud of the success. They're proud of how hard they work to get there. Sudden wealth. Unless everything did fall into the lap. But that would be in the reverse. I don't know. Right, I don't know. Let's keep going. So what's going on for you, please? What's going on for Scorpio? Two swans. Like the Page or Knight of Cups here as well with this, the Jack of Hearts. Somebody reflecting your energy back to you. Self-reflection. Again, with this energy of watching somebody else, you could be comparing yourself to other people in the community and you're learning about yourself through doing that, right? So it's like, well, how did they do it? How did they deal with these issues? What did they do to get out of this trap? What choice did they make in that situation? But this is it's almost like Two of Cups or the Lovers, right? Or like Six of Cups. It's that kind of soul tribe energy. Tell me about this card here. You're not meant to have three different things, but this is coming through as a single person. So not a single person, although maybe with the, I don't know. Again, secretive, toil and labor. Oh, do you know what that feels like? This is you reap what you sow. This feels like, again, this could be a boss and you work really hard for them, right? So it's either, right, two ways of it coming through. This is not right, I'm going to tell you two ways that I'm reading this. The first one that I'm telling you is not the way that it's coming through strongest. It's not the way that made me go, oh, but again, take it as it resonates. So either this is, you work really hard for this person, you toil away, you labor away like a Victorian, like in the cotton mills, right? Like you work really hard for this energy. They don't do anything for it, but they're the one with all the wealth. It's like me when I used to work for Topshop and Philip Green was making a lot of money out of the hard work that I was putting into his business, and he was taking away my holiday entitlement, for example, right? So the people who profit off the toil and labour of others in a very Victorian way. And you can see this happening in society, right? If you just look at the people who are in like politics and stuff and how wealthy they are because they have never worked a day's actual labor in their life, and yet I don't know, they inherited daddy's investments and therefore they have a lot of wealth. It's that, right? Like they don't know what toil and labor is. However, the way that it's coming through are much more strongly, again having a lot of Capricorn energy in the upright, the way that it's coming through very strongly is sorry, I was getting extra messages, but I'm not I'm gonna shelve those for a second. The way it's coming through very strongly is there could be somebody who looks very wealthy. It looks like they don't work hard. It looks like everything fell into their lap. However, what is hidden, because again this was hidden, right? And this is why I'm saying this came through strongly. This is hidden. You don't see how much hard work this person put into having that comfortable lifestyle, right? You don't see the hustle that goes on behind the surface level. So again, this could be somebody who perhaps if you look at their social media, it could be a business as well, right? You look at their social media, they have like that Instagram life, right? They look like they inherited daddy's stocks and shares. However, they could be self-made, right? You couldn't, maybe they release a video and it's like a 10-minute video and it's like, hey, look at my fabulous life. But you didn't see, I don't know how much they paid for the airplane flight to get to that destination. You don't see how hard they worked to set up that photo shoot. You don't see how much editing went into the video. You don't see how much time they spent on the hair and the makeup. So I know it sounds like surface level stuff, but it's like the effort behind it is hidden. You don't see where this person's wealth came from, but it came from them working really bloody hard for it, which is what Capricorn energy is, right? In the positive, and it's coming out in the upright. So what else is going on over here? Whoa. Oh, hi. Boob warning. Look away if you don't like boobs. I mean, there's already one on here. I'm just going to show you the boobs. There's a boob there for those of you who like boobs. And there's some boob there. Right, okay, so I mean, half the population have them. I don't know, I think it's like some big secret, right? Okay, so somebody who's watching, somebody who's waiting for the storm to break, somebody who's waiting for a brighter day, somebody who's waiting for the difficult times to pass. So again, this person, I don't know who this is, but here's like the thinking man and stuff over here. So this energy here with the buffalo is weathering the storm, right? They're walking through the dark night. So it feels like whatever's happening here, this person's still in, could be somebody who's having a dark night of the soul. If you want to Google dark night of the soul, right? They're in the storm, the thunder's cracking, lightning's coming, and it's very hard to see clearly when there's chaos around you, and when you're very confused, the dark clouds signifying confusion, it's very hard to make a decision because it's hard to trust your intuition when you're in those really turbulent times. But this person's looking out. Can you see how like they're looking out the window and the sun's coming in on their face? It's like they're waiting for the brighter future. They're waiting for the better days. What's really interesting to me as well is I've just put up a reading, probably going to go up on Monday. Just before I did your reading, I had this reading of where the passionate man came out, and this is the passionate woman. Passionate woman, and there's Ace of Clubs, which is, no, Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades, which is the Ace of Swords, which is a truth. So this could be some truth coming into this person that's going to give them some clarity if they're very confused at the moment, and they're waiting for this. They're waiting for this truth, this higher truth, right? This enlightenment to come in. But they're very passionate. It's kind of like Queen of Wands energy, passionate. They feel very deeply. They trust their gut instincts, and they could be actually very seductive or looking out for this caring connection. in some sort of way. But with this all tied up, it's like they can't move at the moment. They feel very trapped. They feel trapped in the storm. So again, this could be somebody who's going through a dark night of the soul. They're a bit depressed. They're stressed, right? Which is causing them to be very, it's like with the head being covered as well, it's like they can't connect to those higher energies. It's almost like the signal's gone down for them. So where I'm sat here, and it's like as soon as I try and connect to my higher consciousness, my guides, it's like a switch going on. It's like instant connection. This is somebody who perhaps is so distracted by, for example, I went to my dad's 70th birthday the other day, and it's like I was surrounded by family. I was talking, I was drinking, I was, you know, making sure I got there on time, making sure I got home on time. I had work the next day. So when you're very, very busy, you can't sit there and meditate, right? So it's like just the busyness of a chaotic environment. So again, if the connection's gone down, if you've been trying to connect with somebody, perhaps on a psychic level, and the connection's gone down, they could just be really busy at this time. They don't have the time to do it, but the caring connection's there. All right, courtship just fell off. We need to get you some advice. They're giving me, where did you go, my lovely? Where did you go? I want to know, my lovely. Where did you go? I want to know. I'm going to go dragons for your advice, I think. I was going to go spirit animal, but then I really got kind of drawn to the dragon deck. You do give me a bit of dragon energy in a good way, right? Like that old powerful wisdom, like don't mess with me energy is very Scorpio. Oh, divine masculine. Okay. Lord Kuthumi, you are the change. You are the change. Bring the change. Turn that butterfly in the upright. Get them out the trap. When Lord Kuthumi first arrived, he lost no time informing me who he was. Again, this is metaphorical, right? Storytelling, but there's advice in here. I am a dragon elder and spokesdragon for the Galactic Council. He went on to say, if you desire to be able to hold the energies of the 5th to the 7th dimensions, you need to be clear about all your earthly woes and fears and your deep need for control. Your light bodies need to be in alignment with those of the earth and the astrological light matrix. Only then will you become a tool and a tuning device to lift the energy of the planet. As more of you gather together and do this work, the greater will be your chance of bringing lasting peace to earth. Lord Kuthumi went on to explain why the dragons are here collectively. We have come because lasting peace is achievable on Earth. There are other galaxies beyond your human understanding at this time, where it has happened. We dragons are as old as the universe itself and have encountered and witnessed humanity in all its guises through the ages. You are the change. So what I would say, what I would take from that, and again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Your own, so whoever this is, it could be talking to you, Scorpio, or it could be talking about somebody around you who's struggling to have this soul transformation. So it's saying when we work on ourselves at that soul level, that kind of like ascension, dark night of the soul, shadow work, all this kind of terminologies, when we operate from a higher vibrational level, when we really kind of do that work on ourselves, that definitely somebody has been avoiding doing it, right? That kind of, I feel the pain of everyone, and then I feel nothing, that numbing. So if somebody's numbing, they're actually stuck in a repeating cycle that's keeping them on a lower vibration. I'm not saying that they're low vibrational, but they're not moving up in terms of like moving their soul up to a high vibration. So if you have been through trauma and you don't deal with it, and you just deal with it by, like, I don't know, drinking or numbing, you just stay at that vibrational level. You don't ever learn the lessons. You don't ever get out of that trap. You know how I was talking about the spider web with the trap? So to get out of that trap of, I don't know, repeating past cycles or having negative thinking or being stuck in some kind of looping situation that keeps playing out for you, to get out of that, you have to have transformation and growth. You have to decide to do that. So this could indicate stopping drinking, right? I used to drink most days, and now I drink rarely, right? So I broke that cycle. And in doing so, as part of kind of like a spiritual evolution that I had, you can feel your vibration rising, you know, at your soul's core. So there's a lot of ways that we do this, and it is through dealing with the why, dealing with the why do I do this? Why do I repeat this cycle? Why do I do this thing that I know harms me? Why do I choose this door instead of that door? And so when we finally stop going through the same door every time and we choose a different path, it gives us the ability to change, to have soul growth, right? Your soul doesn't grow if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Your soul grows when you do something different, right? And you experience different things, which comes with challenge, but that's how you improve as a human being. You improve as a person, you improve as a soul. And you get out of those spider webs, right? You get out of the sticky situations, you get out of your own personal traps. So the message of this card for me is, when you work on yourself, when you break out of those bad habits and those bad cycles, and you do something different, you make some sort of change, you change the way you behave, it has an impact on the people around you. It has an impact on your community, on your loved ones, you know, because the higher you are, the higher vibration you're operating from, the more you are inspirational to the people around you, and the more you can support them in their journey of growth. So it really is collectively, we work on ourselves, we work on the planet. An example of this would be, if you want to talk about like generational behavior and generational karma, you know, the habits of a parent are often passed on to the child because the child hasn't learned how to do anything differently. So if your grandparents dealt with, say, I don't know, say they were in a war and they dealt with the pain of that by drinking, the child probably learned, when I feel something, I suppress it and I drink, right? And it's like, which generation is going to break that cycle? I definitely have adopted that. I definitely was going through something where it's like, if I was stressed, if everything became a bit too much, I would have to numb, right? Which is, I wouldn't say I was alcoholic, but I would say I had an alcohol problem. I don't feel like I have that anymore. Sometimes I still, you know, might have a day where it's like, you know, I just need to take the edge off, but it's a day, right? It's not every day. So I don't know, just be very aware about your own behavior patterns, how that not only affects you and your life choices, but the life choices of others. Okay, I hope that was helpful to somebody. Again, don't know if I'm talking to you or to people around you. I don't know if we've got cross watchers, so just take it as it resonates. It's either talking to you or somebody that you're dealing with who's, you can see they're going through this, feels like they're going through the dark night of the soul, right? Feels like they're in it. And what I mean by that is like almost like a tower moment. So sometimes something can come in and it's disruptive, but it makes you have a revelation. So for me, it was my mum dying like relatively early because she didn't make the healthiest choices in terms of smoking and drinking, you know, which, although weren't the main cause of why she passed away, they were a contributing factor. And she didn't get out of that. And seeing my mum not make the healthiest decisions definitely has given me that shockwave that made me want to really make those better decisions, you know. So it can sometimes come through with the storm, right? The distressing situation, those tower moments give you a shock, they give you a wake-up call, and they really encourage you to change. But currently it looks like somebody's still stuck in something. So I don't know, help yourself in order to help others. It seems to be the message here. You know, maybe you are the one that breaks the change and you set that good example for your children. For example, how my dad gave up smoking when I was about 11. And I saw him give up smoking. I saw how difficult it was and how proud he was of it. And that really showed me that it was possible to choose not to be addicted to something, right? To fight the addiction. So be the good example, and you know, others will benefit from that. Take care, Scorpio. Okay, I'm going. Bye.